Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Saturday. Normally my weekly beauty chit chat goes up on Fridays. However, this week was kind of nuts. So just moving some things around. In fact, it's really hot this weekend here in Portland. And I tell you what, I am staying in all weekend, so this actually works out pretty good. Luckily, we didn't have any weddings or events this weekend at work, so this is one of the rare weekends that I actually get off in August here. So anyway, I hope you all had a really great week. My week was obviously pretty busy, but I do still have some favorites that I want to share from this past week in terms of the fun, frivolous, and completely unnecessary. I actually picked up a couple of new things and I'm kind of excited to share them with you. So that's what we're getting into today. Anyway, let me know how your week was. Love to know what you guys are up to as well. And don't forget to let me know what you were loving this past week in terms of the fun, frivolous, and completely unnecessary. As always, I'll go ahead and list and link everything that I'm mentioning in the description box right below this video here. So if you're interested in picking any of these items up, looking up other people's reviews, looking up in-depth ingredient information, yada, 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 check out the description box. It is usually a plethora of information. So anyway, without further ado, we're gonna dive into this week's faves, and we're gonna start with perfume. I have some fun perfume reviews coming up the week after next. So I hope you guys are excited. I'm currently testing out a new brand that is, they're pretty good at recreating some of my favorite high-end fragrances. I love these two brands. The first perfume that I want to mention from this past week is Pacifica's Dream Moon. Now, I am almost done with this bottle here. You can see I really don't have very much left in the bottom. I will definitely finish this before the end of the month here, but Pacifica's Dream Moon is a slightly sweeter version of the Baccarat Rouge 540 fragrance. It really is extremely similar, with the exception that this has just a little bit more sweetness to it. The original smells a little bit more musky to my nose, whereas this, while it has some like muskiness to it, it's almost like a sweeter musk, if that makes sense. It's a great fragrance. I love it. I also love the original. I have a lot of different dupes of the Baccarat Rouge 540 fragrance because it is one of my favorites in my collection. I'm lucky enough to own just a small bottle of the original that was gifted to me by a friend. But there are a lot of great dupes out there, so you don't have to really spend, you know, the money on the original if you don't want to. Now, Pacifica Dream Moon is in a different looking bottle now, so when I link it down below, the bottle's going to look very different. Pacifica went through a little bit of a rebrand for their perfume collection, so they now sell them in 2-ounce sizes. This is just a 1 ounce. This was quite small, but also they're super affordable. So, I mean, it was, I think, originally like 20 bucks for these, and the new 2-ounce size is just under $30. So they really didn't increase the price too much based on the fact that they added an entire extra ounce of product into the bottles. So, yeah. Anyway, I love this fragrance. I am going to repurchase it in the new 2-ounce size here in the near future because this is one of those that I've really enjoyed having in my collection. And I've obviously reached for it quite frequently for me to be at the point where I'm just about done with the bottle here. So yeah, I love this one. I think it's fantastic. And if you've never tried it, it's affordable. I really love the fragrance. This is one of those great, more skin-like fragrances that I think is a really good option if you work in maybe an office type setting where you have to be a lot more mindful about, you know, the people around you in terms of your personal fragrance. I think this is one of those like really office friendly types of personal fragrances. So if you've never tried it, I definitely recommend it. So anyway, definitely worth checking out. The next perfume I want to mention is one that I actually reviewed in depth a little earlier this week here on my channel. If you missed it, I'll link it in the description box. But it is the Ellis Brooklyn Queen's Caramel. Now this is not launching until August 12th. It'll be available at the Ellis Brooklyn website as well as Sephora. So if you're interested, that's when and where you can get it. I really like this one. I did receive it in PR, just so you guys are aware. Admittedly, when I first opened the package and I read through the little scent card note, I thought I still had that, but I think I actually put that in the recycling bin. But when I read through that little card that they sent with the package, I was a little nervous about both the caramel as well as the maple note in this fragrance. Typically for me, maple and caramel are very sweet, pretty much cloying or borderline cloying to my nose in most cases, especially if the main focus or the majority of the focus of the fragrance is on either maple and or caramel. So I was really glad that once I opened the box and stuck my nose in it, that there are definitely some other notes that help to balance that intense sweetness that you oftentimes get from both caramel and maple. This is a really nicely balanced, sweet gourmand that doesn't come across as cloying. Obviously, if you are sensitive to sweeter fragrances, this might be a miss for you. But if you're a fan of gourmands, I think you're really gonna like this one. I really like this one because, like I said, there is a nice balance to that caramel and that maple, and it just smells so warm and so cozy on the skin. This is one of those fragrances that I think is definitely going to be really popular going into this fall and winter. It just really makes you feel like you are being wrapped in just this warm, cozy hug almost. This is a stunner. I really, really like this one a lot, and I think a lot of you guys who love the gourmands are definitely gonna enjoy this one as well. If you're a little iffy about it, start out with a travel size. I think that's always a good way to go if you're unsure. That way you're not committing to a big, huge bottle. But if you're like me and you're typically a little bit more picky about the caramel and the maple, I can tell you that as someone who's normally sensitive to it, I really enjoy this one. And what I also really liked about this particular scent is that unlike the Guava Granita, which for me, I purchased that one back in the spring, that fragrance from Ellis Brooklyn needed a little bit of time to macerate or develop a little bit more because the lasting power when I first bought it was really not great. That's not the case with this one. The lasting power of this one is definitely more along the lines of a typical eau de parfum. So I can easily go at least 6 hours before this one starts to fade to the point where I'm like, I feel like I want to reapply. So for me, 6 hours, 6-7 hours is a good amount of wear time. And it's delicious. So I don't know, if you're interested, I can tell you that from my perspective, I really like this a lot, and you'll probably be seeing a lot more of this as I change over my fragrance profiles from, you know, the light, airy florals, the coconuts, the fruity scents into the heavier, slightly more oppressive fragrances in my collection. I wouldn't call this oppressive, but it's definitely sweet, it's definitely a gourmand, and I think just based on the type of fragrance that this is, it's perfect for the fall and the winter. So if you're curious, I really like it a lot, and you'll be seeing more of it. So I really like that one. The last two fragrances are actually perfumes that I'm testing out from another dupe brand, if you will. This is the brand Maison Kin. They actually reached out to me a few times, and because I've been busy with work, I've just kind of ignored the emails for a little while. But they emailed again recently and were like, hey, we'd love to have you try some of the fragrances from our website. You know, you can review them on your channel, let us know what you think. So they allowed me to select one of their little sample kits. So I have been trying out the fragrances from this particular kit here. So the two fragrances that really kind of rocked my world this week when I was wearing it were the Maison Kin Cellar and the Monaco. I'm going to be reviewing these not next week, but the week after. And the Maison Kin Cellar is, I just recently reviewed another very similar fragrance. This to me smells like another great dupe of Tom Ford Lost Cherry. You can smell that sweet cherry and that bitter almond note in this one. Really, really great atomizer on these, and these have great lasting power, you guys. I believe these perfumes are made in France, if I remember correctly, but like a lot of these different dupe houses out there, they will recreate, or I guess you could say they are inspired by a lot of high-end fragrances that are already on the market, and they recreate them for a much more affordable price point. So far so good, especially on the quality. I'm not sure if all of the fragrances are gonna be up my alley, but I do know that in terms of the quality, it is there. The Monaco is a dupe for Gentle Fluidity. This has notes of juniper and amber. It also kind of smells, it has a little bit of a like clean laundry vibe to my nose as well. It's really nice. I've never smelled the original. I love the Baccarat Rouge 540, but I've never smelled the Gentle Fluidity. And man, you guys, this is so pretty. It's really soft. It's kind of more of a feminine fragrance. I like it a lot. I really like this a lot. So while I don't know if it mimics the original in a like truly spot on way, I can tell you that just smelling this just by itself, I really like this fragrance just on its own, regardless of what it's a dupe for. So yeah, anyway, great week for perfume around here. So many more perfume reviews coming down the pipeline. I am finally at a place where I can start kind of purchasing perfumes again. So there are some things that I have that I want to review for fall. Some really nice gourmands, some slightly heavier amber and patchouli type fragrances. So I'm really excited to share those with you. So yeah, here's to more perfume because that's what I need more of. Anyway, let's move on to some skincare next. When it comes to skincare, I have two toner type products that I want to talk about this week. The first is actually an empty. I just finished this Paracone MD Cold Plasma Plus the Essence. This is actually my third empty of this particular essence from Paracone MD. It is very expensive. It has peptides in it. I really love the formulation. It is a fantastic essence, and clearly the fact that I've bought 3 bottles of it says something. But it is also really expensive. I don't think you need this one. You can get these ingredients in other ways. I just have loved the texture of it. I love the way that it makes my skin feel. I love the way that it makes my skin look. It's just a great product, right? And sometimes, well, actually in my case, probably a lot of times, if I really like something, I don't mind splurging on it. If I can find a dupe, yeah, absolutely. But if I'm really into the original, I'll pay a little bit of money for something that I really do love. And that has been the case with this. Now, do I try to save money? Absolutely. Typically where I've purchased this for the last couple of times that I've bought it, I have found it at Costco. You usually have to buy it online, but that's fine. They usually include the shipping and handling. But yeah, Costco is the very best deal that I've found for this product. Significantly less expensive than what I paid at Ulta, which ironically enough, when this was first released, they put it on a pretty good sale. So I got it on sale even the very first time that I bought it, but even that sale price wasn't as good as the deal that I was getting on this at Costco. So if you have a Costco membership and this is in stock, I would definitely recommend it. But there are other essences, there are other, you know, toners and stuff out there that you can buy that have a similar ingredient deck that will give you the results that, you know, peptides are known to give you. So will I repurchase this in the future? Probably. You'll probably see it again. But I'm gonna have to find it again at Costco online, and it's gonna be during a sale. So this is just one of those things that I'm always watching out for on the Costco website, and when I see it, I snatch it up. So she's going in the empty pile. Sad to see her go for now because I don't currently have a backup, but never fear. I have plenty of toners to work my way through. So speaking of, I bought a new toner, and here's the thing. So back in the day when The Ordinary, just the skincare line as a whole was first released, I purchased a number of things to test out from the brand. And this was back in the day when my skin was completely different from what it is now. And when I first tried a lot of the products from The Ordinary, I just didn't find them to be very effective at all. But now that my skin is more of a combination skin type instead of being horrifically oily 24/7, I feel like I maybe want to give The Ordinary another chance because they are obviously really affordable. And if I can find things that are affordable to be able to recommend, I would love to do that. So this is newer from The Ordinary. This popped up on the Ulta website and I was like, oh, that kind of looks interesting. This is the Ordinary Multi-Active Delivery Essence. This is a hydrating essence that primes for skincare penetration. I thought that was interesting. I know that there was this, what's that TikTok lady? Noguera. Michaela Noguera, right? I think that's her. Anyway, she came out with this whole like skincare prep line. I only learned it through like drama channels that were talking. I don't follow her, but she's a little young for me, I feel like. But you know, I was kind of learning about her like skincare prep line through a lot of these like videos that were made about the launch, and that was like a whole thing. But anyway, I thought the idea of prepping your skin for skincare was kind of an interesting concept. I don't know how I feel about that. I would love to know what you guys think about that concept, but it just seems like it's just more skincare, right? Like it's just more things to add into the routine. But I do think this has some pretty good ingredients. I'll have a few of those ingredients going across the screen here, but anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny that The Ordinary had a skincare prep item, and I was like, well, I'm down one toner in my routine, so let's try this one out and let's see what The Ordinary does for my skin. Many years later, now that my skin is in a slightly different, you know, phase of life. I haven't used a ton of it. I've been using it for a few days now, and so far so good. I don't know that it primes my skin for skincare or anything like that, but it is a nice hydrating toner, and so far so good. So I'm gonna use this for a little bit longer. I'm gonna do an in-depth review about it and let you guys know whether I think you need to prep for your skincare or not. Reality is I don't think you need to prep for skincare. You do your skincare. Wash your face or get out of the shower, apply your skincare. That's the best time to do it. Anyway, let's move on. One more thing I want to mention in terms of skincare is I'm back to using this. I feel like it's been a really long time since I have used it or really talked about it a whole lot here on my channel, but it is still one of my holy grails. So this is the Paula's Choice Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense SPF 30. I love this SPF. This is actually what was like the very best fit for my skin when I was extremely oily. I've been using this for years. Lately though, I've been trying to get through some of my other SPFs that I have here in my little SPF container that, quite frankly, I need to work through. I probably shouldn't have even opened this, but like I said, I was missing it. It's just, You know how when you find a skincare item that you just really like mesh with and you just don't ever want to let it go? I feel like that's what this product is for me. I have a couple things from Paula's Choice that I'm just really addicted to that for whatever reason have just rocked my world when it comes to my skincare routine, and I refuse to let them go. Still love this particular SPF, so don't think it's gone anywhere. In fact, I'm wearing it today. I love the way that it feels on my skin. I'm not as oily as I used to be, but it is still a great SPF for my now more combo skin. So if you're struggling to find one for oily skin, this is really worth trying, you guys. It's a nice, generous 2-ounce bottle. The price point has definitely gone up over the years when it comes to this one, but it's still one that I'm willing to spend the money on because it's a great product for me. So anyway, I have one hair care item that I want to mention, and we'll just get into that now, and then we've got some makeup to talk through. So let's go ahead and talk about a new volumizing spray that I found. This is from EVA NYC. I recently started using their warm vanilla dry shampoo, which I really like a lot. This is their Beyond Gravity Volume and Texture Spray. This has vitamin E in it. And as someone who is not blessed with, thick, luscious locks, I'm always looking for hair care items that give my hair a little bit more oomph. Things that make my hair look thicker, give it more volume, just make my hair look a lot more substantial than what it naturally is. And I gotta say, I really like this. I think this is a great product. This is definitely worth checking out. I think EVA NYC is a pretty affordable price point. I bought this at, where'd I get it? Ulta. Got it at Ulta. And what I like about it is that it doesn't leave your hair feeling like it has a ton of product in it after you apply it. Like, you can feel there's something in your hair, obviously, but it's not sticky. It doesn't feel gross in your hair. So you can just spray a little bit of it and kind of work it in and slowly just kind of build up a little bit more volume. I almost got that in my eyeball, but yeah, it really does work to like zhuzh things up. I kind of don't want that look today, but let's paste it back down here. But yeah, this works really well. And no matter how much you put in your hair, it really doesn't it doesn't build up, if that makes sense. Your hair still feels light. It still feels touchable. Smells good. It's kind of a generic smell, but smells nice. But yeah, I really like this. Anyway, if you're in the market for some kind of a volumizing spray, you should check this one out. It's pretty pink. I like the bottle. It's also a really good product. So anyway, let's dig into a couple of makeup items, and then we're done. I also get to tell you guys about a makeup empty from this past week. And as soon as I finished this setting powder, I was like, man, I'm gonna miss this. I'm gonna need to go repurchase this setting powder. So I will be doing that probably in the next couple of weeks here, because I really fell in love with this iconic London Velvet Blur translucent setting powder. I purchased this, I think it was last year during the Sephora fall savings event or something. And this is a great powder, you guys. It's really finely milled, and it did such a beautiful job of blurring my pores. It did come with this really nice puff, which I used every once in a while, and then I'd wash it, but more times than not, I use a slightly dampened beauty blender type sponge, makeup sponge, if you will, situation. And then I actually took this sifter part off here. Listen, you could totally shake this out into a different container and then pick it up that way. But yeah, mine's obviously empty. I would basically just dip this in here and then press it into my skin before going in with my powder foundation. And it really gave me such a smooth look to my skin. My skin didn't look entirely poreless. I listen, I had oily skin for a lot of years, so I do still have enlarged pores. They're way better than what they used to be, but I still have some texture to my skin. But this particular powder, when just, you know, pressed into those like enlarged pore areas, it literally just blurred them so beautifully. And then I would go in with my powder foundation over top, and my skin looked so good. Whenever that was my combo, I loved it. So listen, if you're in the market for a new setting powder and you have enlarged pores, you need to try this iconic London one. I'm gonna miss this. I'm going back for it. Like, I even really like the packaging for it. So it's got this like flip top lid here, and then, you know, it's got the mesh situation. I don't like the mesh dispenser, so that's why I would just, you know, take this off. But it's a great powder. I'm telling you, if you're in the market, try it. I'll be buying it again. I need to finish the Huda one that I have, the Huda Beauty one, but this, and that Huda one is good too. Her, like, what is it, the Easy Bake? I don't remember what it's called, but it's good. It's good. But I love that more. It's a really nice one. Okay. Still going through all of my eyeshadow palettes in my collection and pulling some things that I haven't worn in quite some time. And this past week, these were the two palettes that grabbed my attention for some reason. I have actually reached for both of these over the course of, I would say, the last few months, a couple times here and there. I'm always drawn to them. Like, these are the two palettes in my collection, well, amongst a few others, that I'm just always kind of getting sucked back into. So this first one is the original Tarte Tartelette palette. This is the one that was all mattes. You have the row of warm colors here. You've got the slightly more neutral colors here and some cooler tones in the middle. Just a really beautiful everyday matte eyeshadow palette. A little powdery. It was always a little powdery, but really easy to work with. Pigmented, long-lasting, over primer. I still have to wear primer every single day. My lids are still a little bit more oily, but I tell you what, if you still have this one in your collection and you haven't reached for it lately, you should bust it out. It is a really good basic everyday palette, and it's a nice one where you really don't have to think or overthink what you're doing. It's just, you know, it's gonna work out. And another palette, I don't even think you can get this one anymore. I think you can still get that original Tartelette palette, but this Buxom Dolly's Wild Side palette, I believe they still sell the singles, maybe on the Buxom website, but Dolly's Wild Side was just some lighter mauves, which are still my favorite color story for sure. So this is a really, really great palette here. Again, if you happen to have this in your collection, you should bust it out. The shades that are in here are Silk Sheets, Champagne Buzz, Lingerie Lover, Mink Magnet, Spoiled Sexy, and Wild Nights. That was me reading them from here over to this way. Great palette, like I said. If you happen to have it, you should bust it out. Or if you can get some of these in singles, you should. Again, really nice color payoff, great pigmentation, stays put beautifully with a primer for me. But just everyday neutral eye looks. Man, I still love a neutral eye look. Although I will say, now that we're starting to head into the direction of fall, I want to do some more with some jewel tones this year. I kind of think about that every year and then don't really get into it, but I feel like this is the year that I should really get into the jewel tones in terms of eyeshadows, because I have so many of these really beautiful, like, deep, dark plums, greens, navies, you know, shimmers, mattes, every finish in between, and I should be using those things. So come back for some colorful eye looks here in the near future. And then the last thing that I want to mention is that I tried to identify another lip gloss in my collection that I would like to finish off. I've been telling you guys about how I'm trying to finish this Tower 28 gloss, and looky here, we're working our way to the end. Another one that I have in my collection that I actually really enjoy, I'm wearing it now. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. It's the shade Pillow Talk, but yeah, I believe these are the collagen lip baths. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's this particular line of glosses from her. I really like this formulation. I don't feel like I hear anyone talk about these collagen lip baths anymore. Well, they were released a while ago, so they're not the latest, they're not the greatest, but I really do like anything in the Pillow Talk shade, so I got it. Turns out it's a great gloss. It is a slightly thinner formulation, but it is really hydrating and it feels very nourishing to the lips. And yeah, I haven't reached for it a ton and I've had it for a little while, and it's Charlotte Tilbury, so I'm sure I blew at least, what, 25, 30 bucks on this. I should probably finish it. So anyway, I'm gonna try and do that. So let's see how long it takes me to finish this one. Only that one's sitting out too. So many lip products, you guys. Don't overbuy lip products. That is the lesson that I learned from between 2010 and 2019. Bought way too much of that stuff. So yeah, lessons were learned. I am older and wiser. Here I am. Anyway, you guys, I really appreciate you being here today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Don't forget to let me know what you were loving in the comments down below. So let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.